How much of your life have you spent waiting for permission? Permission to love whom you are drawn to, start the business that lights your soul on fire, wear what you want and step out with confidence, leave the relationship that is just sucking the life out of you. And I'm not just talking about romantic ones either. Finally, giving yourself the day of rest you have been dreaming about. How about speaking your truth no matter who is around? Well, if you can relate to any of those questions, the answer is too long. One day spent trying to gain someone else's permission to live the life you want in all areas is too long. Is there a secret to just saying, fuck it, I'm owning my own life? Well, let's see. Welcome to And She Remembers, the podcast for women truly ready to trust themselves again, reclaim their power, and remember that they have a voice, a choice, and an inner wisdom that was never meant to be silenced. I'm Sarah Manning, Oracle and Empowerment Coach. And today, after this podcast, you are no longer going to ask for permission to live the life you want. Okay, well, maybe this is just the foundation, but the engine of alignment and walking in your truth with excitement is going to be revving. Many women struggle with confidence because they've spent years waiting for permission to trust themselves. The truth is, many women don't realize that they've even been waiting for permission. They simply call it being responsible, realistic, not being a burden. They also hide under the guise of making sure everyone else is taken care of first. Your ego, honestly, loves these so called valid reasons, when in fact, all they end up being is reinforcements to keeping you locked into the predictable life that is routine and sucking the life, joy, and energy out of you. No, truly, I don't say this to be mean, but if you aren't excited or happy every day you wake up, you aren't truly loving life. This doesn't mean you wake up jumping out of bed, singing a song like Cinderella. But if you feel no connection to happiness and fulfillment, honestly, then you aren't actually living your life. You are simply going through the motions. What are you waiting for? No one really knows what you want out of life or what would bring you so much joy if you don't tell them. No one is going to walk up to you, give you a certificate, and say, hey, you have life's permission to do that thing you've been dreaming about. You are the only one that can actually give yourself permission to do anything. Why do we as women wait for the proverbial green light? Well, as discussed in episode 3, we have been conditioned through the generations about being agreeable, to be nice, don't rock the boat, don't disappoint others, don't be selfish, and don't ask for too much. I can honestly say that the fear of disappointing my husband is a huge one for me. We have invested so much into my business. I spent years worrying if we would ever make it up or even see the investments as worthwhile. I never once wanted my husband to regret allowing me to invest hours, energy, money, and so much more into my business. I've realized that I just said allowing me to, but we are partners. So I want his support, not just his permission. After all, I don't need his permission to do what I want, but his support definitely makes things easier for both of us. Thank goodness, going on 11 years, he is still so proud and happy to keep me rocking my business with no regrets. Starting something new or stepping into a project that you love and excites you might get you labeled as selfish. Yet, isn't it more selfish of anyone that tries to prevent you? If you look and you truly can't start investing now, that doesn't mean you can't do anything. You can start brainstorming. You can even imagine what success looks like for you. You can imagine your Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook page. Start tapping into the reality you are wanting to create by tuning into the vibration and frequency of it. Allow your heart to flutter, get excited, and happy to have this dream as your reality. Some have said, if I do this, it will hurt if it never becomes my reality. Listen, you can either experience excitement or you can stay frozen in fear. The choice is always yours. Don't leave this life with regrets, though. Remember as well that what excites you, what you're drawn to, is meant for you. Follow the draw, follow your soul and heart. Only you can do what you are being called to do the way that you want to do it. Other ways you can be asking for permission without realizing it is asking friends what they think of your choices or what the right way forward is. Waiting until everyone approves of your dream, or even not doing anything if family tells you it is the wrong path. Just because people around you don't understand your vision doesn't mean it is wrong. They are simply looking at your choices from the beliefs and limits they hold dear. It is truly sad to see how many women have learned to trust everyone else's opinion more than their own. It seems like it takes women getting into perimenopause before we actually stop caring about what others think. We realize that this is our life and we get to decide what standards we want to live in. We are so ingrained from a young age to ask someone that is older than us what is right and wrong. I don't know about you, but I was definitely not taught to ask myself what I thought. It was always, but what will someone else think? What will someone else say? Who are you to think you know best? I actually think when one of my friends asks me, what do I think? I'm going to start replying with, well, I'm more interested in what you think or feel. It is more important for us to check in with our hearts and souls over anything else, as you are the one that has to live with the consequences, the results of whatever choice you make. No one else does. From the Earl Nightingale talk, The Strangest Secret in the World, which, by the way, I highly recommend listening to, he says Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book, he says the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity. And there you have the reason for so many failures. Conformity and people acting like everyone else without knowing why or where they are going. How interesting, yet so true. You want to live a life that you love and enjoy waking up to. So, why are you living the life that someone else approves of? I actually don't know many people that work a job they love. They are simply paying the bills and going through the motions. Why are you settling for a job that you loathe or simply endure for so many years of your life? Again, because everybody does it, or because been told that is life. Who knew you could make a living doing something you loved? Oh, right. Only those that have the courage to actually do it. Be courageous with your life. Waiting for permission is literally costing you more than you know. It is costing you joy, opportunities, confidence, time, your dreams, your energy, your life. You only have one opportunity to live in this lifetime. Don't just meander to the goals and dreams, run to them. There are countless examples of people in this lifetime that went after their dreams, even when they were told countless times that they were not going to make it. Yet they stopped living for permission and chose another way. Think about it. If those people that we admire simply listened to those around them, that the successful only are because of luck, we'd be missing out on so many inventions, songs, research stories, and more. Every time you ignore what you know is right for you, every time you put your dreams on hold because someone else doesn't understand them, every time you silence your own voice to make someone else comfortable, you reinforce the belief that your needs matter less than everyone else's. That is a heartbreaking way to live. Ask yourself, if your best friend, adult child, or sibling told you that they really wanted to do something, but they weren't allowed to, what would your response be? Would you be shocked? After all, they're adults. Nobody gets to decide what they're allowed or not allowed to do anymore. Or would you simply say, well, you know, the person giving you permission really does know best? The truth is, you are the only one that really knows what's best for you. In 2014, I made the decision to follow my heart, my soul, and what made me happy by leaving an amazing corporate job the following year. Why was it amazing? The job was incredible because I worked only 7 hours a day. I had a wicked pension, incredible benefits, and had over 6 weeks of vacation a year. But the job, although I didn't hate it, it did not bring me as much joy and happiness as much as my drive to support women in their own journey to confidence, remembering their own inner voice, and creating a life they loved. Connecting women around the world to the universe and past loved ones? Come on, no better job or life mission. Lots of people told me I was crazy, I was making a mistake, and that I would regret it. I also was fortunate to have other people tell me I should definitely go after my dreams and goals. One even told me that she admired me so much because anything I said I was going to do, I did it. I can promise you, I had my doubts. I had fear of failure, of not being good enough, but I refused to let those crazy fears, which were not in my current reality, decide for me. I am so grateful I decided to let my dreams and my choices be my reality. Otherwise, I'd still be working for someone else's dream. I wouldn't have lived in any other country than the one I was born in. I wouldn't have experienced life on as many levels as I do daily. And I know there is only more to come. The funny thing is, most of us would never admit we're asking for permission. We don't walk around saying, I need someone to tell me it's okay. Instead, permission sneaks in through the back door. I can hear you thinking, Sarah, I don't ask anyone for permission. I want you to pause for a moment. Really think about this because waiting for permission doesn't always look like asking someone directly if you can do something. In fact, some of the most common ways we seek permission are incredibly sneaky. They disguise themselves as being practical, responsible, realistic, even smart. So let's talk about the different ways permission shows up in our lives without us even realizing it. I will be honest, in thinking about this podcast, I've discovered some ways I am even needing permission, but let me tell you, not anymore. Permission can sound like, I'll do it when I have the money. I'll do it when I have more experience. I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll do it when my family understands. I'll do it when I lose weight. I'll do it when the kids are older. I'll do it when things settle down. One of the most valuable lessons I have learned from those with more life experience than me, my nice way of saying people older than me, is that life is never going to settle down. You'll also never find the time you need to create the dream. You will never change anything in your life if you are waiting for the perfect moment. The permission slip that hit me the hardest was I'll do it when I have more experience or when I have more knowledge on the topic. There is no better way to learn a topic than trying to share it with someone else. My husband has actually been telling me this for a long time. Bouchard, an entity that Daryl Anka channels, has been saying this for years. His thought is that humans seem to have an unnatural attachment to permission slips to be achieved or given before we start truly believing not only in our capacity to create something, but also our worthiness in achieving it. The saying, no pain, no gain, has become a law that we simply accept, but it is actually not a real law. There truly is no gain in pain. Just because you suffer or work hard enough does not mean you have now achieved the level of being allowed to have. Ready is simply another word for permission, and you need to start believing that you are good to go right now. I just did a post on Facebook about even planning out your next goal or even shifting your mindset is taking positive steps toward the reality you want. It's not always about uprooting everything in your life immediately, but it is taking decisive steps to creating the goal into a living, breathing reality of life for you. That can look like starting to live like you already have your goal in the now. It can be learning even more about how to achieve your goal, the map on how to create your dream into your reality. I never thought I could do a podcast before. I thought I would only have 2 or 3 ideas, and that would be great, but that would be it. Now I'm on episode 11. I also didn't know how to create a successful podcast, but I'm not worried about the success part of it. I'm following my heart, my intuition, and my goal of reminding women that they are powerful. They are allowed to have and achieve and create a life they love without apology or permission. Another moment of complete power I love in my life is the moment I chose to shave my head. I did this just at the beginning of COVID. I don't know why, but I have always wanted to shave my head and rock it without apology. So when the world shut down and we started to need to distance ourselves, I thought, well, no time like the present. I did it, and although I wish I hadn't dyed it pink right away, I loved it. It's not a style I would want to sustain, but the empowerment of choosing to do something just for the hell of it, oh my God. So freeing, so empowering, and I still smile when I think of it. I think Colin loved shaving my head more than I did because it was a memory of smiles, laughter, and a bit of disbelief mixed in there. Nobody in life is the permission slip giver. So why are you waiting for them to show up in your own life? Have you asked yourself this question? What are you truly waiting for? Give yourself permission now. Does that sound terrifying? That is 100% normal and okay. Do you really think that empowered and confident women never experience fear? Or maybe you have convinced yourself that they don't feel it as much as you. Here is one thing I know to be true. In a way, you're right. They don't experience as much as you now, but I promise you, when they first started to learn to trust their own voice, their own heart, their own goals, they were terrified as well. They lost sleep worrying about their dreams and goals. They thought about their choices over and over again. Yet they learned the more they trusted their own choices, the more confident they became. The more they realized that they knew their way was best for them, the more they realized that making a choice, even if it didn't result in the outcome they wanted, was not the end of the world. There was always a way because they chose to look for answers and ways forward rather than dead ends and reasons to fail. Empowered and confident women know they are not going to please everyone, but they have peace with that as they know they also don't like everyone. This is part of the beautiful aspect of diversity. You are going to attract lovers into your life the more authentic you are. Yes, You might attract haters too, but you can always refuse delivery of their distaste. Women who are creating lives they love also know that not everyone will understand them, their dreams, or their mission. But again, they know they can either spend their time and energy in futility trying to convince others, or they can take the same energy, time, and spend it intentionally on people that will cheer them on, or even say, I don't get it, but I know you will do anything you set your mind to. Or, I don't understand the choice, but I will support you fully. You are not always going to have people understand you. But just because you don't understand neuroscience doesn't mean that someone in your life shouldn't become a neuroscientist. Why are you forcing yourself into other people's limits of understanding? Another known truth among those that refuse to settle is that certainty is impossible. You have to understand that you are never going to predict how everything is going to go in your life. Even with manifestation, which is an amazing skill I love, you can trust you have the ability to manifest something, but you are not going to be able to guarantee just how that manifestation is going to show up in your life. The only thing certain is uncertainty is going to follow us, but it doesn't mean you are never going to achieve in your life. Confidence doesn't happen before you act. Confidence is what grows because you acted. You start to truly see not only the value of you, your but also your dreams contributions to your life, and also that the world doesn't stop spinning because you made a choice. I have not succeeded in everything in life. I have spent thousands of dollars going to school for careers that didn't end up working out for me. I went to dental assistant school and even college for project management. I finished both programs with flying colors, but I didn't stick with them. Do I consider these failures? Absolutely not. I learned a lot from both of them. I know nothing I do, have done, or will do is wasted time or energy. I am always learning, even if it is learning what doesn't work for me. I'm appreciative for the opportunities and the knowledge I have from anything I choose to do. Women that inspire you are going to tell you the same thing. They have failures in their lives, but they don't view them in a negative light, as they have learned, grown, and achieved despite and in spite of them. The fear is there, but the less you feed that fear, or the less you view it as a reality, the more you realize that you can still move ahead with plans anyways. I generally like to use strong women as examples in this podcast, but today I'm going to use Walt Disney. Did you know long before Disney became a household name, Walt Disney, the dreamer, the creator, and achiever, or the beautiful, imaginative person that we all have become familiar with, had a string of business failures, major financial crises, and even bankruptcies? He did not truly achieve financial success until he was 53. His life was littered by ups and downs, having to live in his office, eating cold canned beans to survive. He even had a competitor legally steal one of his beloved characters and animation teams away to create a successful cartoon from Disney's own imagination. That was devastating. But one of his quotes truly kept him going. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. His passion and vision never dimmed, no matter what came his way. Other common ways to start understanding and becoming aware of just how much you are waiting for permission are second guessing yourself, worried about disappointing others, afraid of making the wrong choice, struggling to connect to your self worth, being disconnected to your own voice, which is knowing what you love and what you truly don't like, being held back by the what if ego stories. I don't want you to leave this episode feeling more defeated, feeling like you have one more thing to try to figure out. Here's the truth I want you to start understanding. The minute you are feeling defeated, that is your clue you are waiting for permission. Okay, well, now that you understand that, how can you figure out even more areas of your life you are playing small and waiting for the nod of approval? Ask yourself the following questions. Where am I waiting for permission? Or even, am I waiting for permission? What dream am I postponing? Whose approval am I seeking? What would I do if I trusted myself completely? What decision have I already made in my heart? Ask yourself these questions, not anyone else. You might not get the answers right away, but there is something really cool that happens when you get open to curiosity. Your subconscious mind starts to investigate and look into these moments. When situations come up where potential permission starts to come into play, you will start feeling the itch of recognition. You will make one of two choices. You will either allow your intuition and inner voice to come in and show you the truth of your hesitation, or you will simply ignore the permission habit and move through the unfulfilled life you are currently leading. The choice will always be yours. Harsh reality? Well, what's the use in sugarcoating it? You didn't come here to stay in the same vibration after listening. You came here for the transformative information your soul and inner truth knows you need. It is time to step into the life that has been calling you with the confidence that is beginning to bubble and overflow in your heart and soul. If you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Nobody is coming to hand you permission to become who you were meant to be. The life you want begins the moment you stop waiting for approval and start trusting yourself enough to take the next steps. Your voice matters. Your desires matter. Your dreams matter. Give yourself permission. No matter how crazy or outlandish your dreams seem to be to others, the woman you're becoming doesn't need more permission. She needs more trust in herself. Until next time, trust your intuition, listen to your inner voice, and remember who you truly are.